conjunction is looking kind of gnarly for most people, but it can also be a moment of rebelliousness and freedom. There is a chance for opportunities and amazing breakthroughs, and these could be scientific or personal breakthroughs, and financial windfalls for some. It all depends on how this conjunction is aspecting your own natal birth chart. The last time we had this conjunction was in July 2022 at around 18 degrees of Taurus. This was a triple conjunction because the transiting north node in Taurus was also involved in that conjunction. So we felt this energy before. The Mars Uranus conjunction is happening on July 15. This conjunction is going to be in Taurus at around 26 degrees of Taurus. This alignment is going to occur at around 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Please make sure you're checking the time for your own location in order to get the correct ascendant. I'm based in New York, so that is New York time. Some people will gain from other people's losses. So don't be discouraged and think it's all negative. Somebody is always gaining out of any situation. In a negative situation, other people's losses, there's always an opportunity. Unfortunately, this conjunction is happening on a very negative fixed star called Algol. This is one of the most violent fixed stars in astrology. I don't want people to think that this is all negative because of the malefic fixed star Algol being part of this conjunction. Algol, yes, is malefic, but it also has its positive aspects. Algol is the sign of fame and massive wealth. So perhaps some of you are going to become overnight celebrities. Uranus is the planet that makes things go viral. Uranus rules social media platforms, technology, and computers. So if you are on a social media platform and you've not been getting any attention, Mars hits Uranus and lights Uranus up. This could be an aspect that makes you become an instant celebrity. You can suddenly and unexpectedly go viral. It's very likely that some people will accumulate massive wealth as a result of this conjunction. This all depends on how this conjunction is aspecting the other planets in your own natal birth chart. And the only way you're really going to find out what's happening is by getting a personal chart reading. I'm offering a special on this conjunction. It's only $80. It's a limited time offer, so book now. This is definitely one of those conjunctions that can absolutely change your life. And as I shared in my last video on the prior conjunctions of the North Node Mars Uranus conjunction, that conjunction happened on my moon in Taurus. It absolutely changed my living situation, changed my home, it changed my relationship status from dating to a domestic partnership, and I bet there will be further changes with this conjunction. Astrology will always let you know where you have opportunities to advance yourself and perhaps take some type of constructive rebellion. And this is exactly what I had to do. As a fixed sign ascendant in Scorpio with my moon in Taurus, I had to rebel. I had to break up the stagnancy in my life and go with something that was unknown. This energy is definitely going to break you out of stagnancy. It's going to push you forward. It's going to liberate you. Uranus's purpose is liberation. So where have you felt stagnant? Where have you felt unable to move forward? This conjunction is going to release you. Take advantage of this energy. Take advantage of the opportunities that are there through the trines and the sextiles. Hello YouTube, my name is Rachel Mayo, your personal astrologer. If you're new to my channel and you have not yet subscribed, please hit subscribe. Also make sure to leave me a comment in the comment section of this video. Tell me where you're tuning in from. Commenting and liking my videos really helps my channel grow. It helps push my videos to other people who love astrology. So let the algorithm know that you're enjoying the content of this video, and you can do this by liking, sharing, and commenting. I'm truly grateful for any action that you take in order to help my channel grow. I'd also like to say a big welcome to all my new subscribers. I see that a lot of people are engaging me in the comment section of this video. If you're new to my channel, please say hello in the comments. I'm going to be running a special reading for this conjunction, the Mars-Uranus conjunction. It's only $80. It's a limited time offer, so book now. I'm still running the competition for you to win a free solar return chart reading with me. All you have to do is subscribe to my channel. Make sure your subscription is open so that I can see your subscription and pick you as the winner. say free solar, and subscribed. I'd like to give another shout out to my friends over at astrologyinternational.org. This is an astrology forum. If you love everything about astrology, please come and join the discussion. It's absolutely free to join this forum. I'm also a member of this forum and I contribute quite frequently. So look out for the link to join. The link will be in the comments of this video. I'm going to encourage you to listen to the entire introduction of this video. This is where I go over the aspects of the event chart. So if you'd like to decipher how this event is going to affect you according to your own natal placements, listen to the introduction of this video. I'm going to be discussing how the Mars Uranus conjunction that is happening at 26 degrees is going to affect you according to your ascendant sign. I'm a Western tropical astrologer, so I use the whole sign system when I'm reading for YouTube. However, when I'm doing personal consultations, I use the Placidus system because I find that to be much more accurate. If you're a Placidus user like myself, I suggest that you look for 26 degrees of Taurus in your chart and listen for that house. You may have to listen for 2 signs. I'm also going to talk about what your ruling planet is doing. Is it aspecting anything at the time of this conjunction? Keep in mind that there's 2 planets involved in this conjunction, Mars and Uranus. Mars rules 2 houses in your chart. It rules the house of Scorpio. It also rules the house of Aries. And Uranus rules the house of Aquarius. So these houses are going to be activated at the time of this conjunction. However, let's keep in mind that the sign of Aries is not going to be aspected, that the sign of Aries does not aspect the sign of Taurus simply because they're next to each other. These 2 houses do not see each other. We're most likely going to be looking at the rulership of Scorpio, and we have the moon in Scorpio at the time of this conjunction. So Scorpio is going to be opposing this conjunction. So the moon is going to be opposing this conjunction. The moon is also in detriment in the sign of Scorpio because it's exalted in the opposite sign of Taurus, my moon sign. There's a pattern here of planets in detriment, and this is why I feel like this conjunction is possibly going to bring about a negative event. But remember, even out of negative events, there is opportunity, there is a possibility for someone to take advantage of other things crumbling. Let's keep in mind that Mars is also going to reactivate the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction that happened sometime earlier in April. This conjunction happened at about 22 degrees of Taurus. So when Mars hits that degree, it's going to reactivate that conjunction. So if you didn't have an event happen when this conjunction happened in April, you're probably going to have an event occur around this time. It's very possible that a few things are being activated in our chart at this time. Let's examine the planets involved in this conjunction. Uranus rules the sign of Aquarius. This is the natural 11th house of the zodiac. It's a financial house. It's a house of reward. This is the house that rules over our hopes, dreams, and wishes. This is the house that rewards all the work that we did in the 10th house. So expect sudden promotions, financial windfalls, and accolades. Recognition for past work is very possible at this time. Wish fulfillment is something that can happen for some people at this time as a result of this conjunction. Taurus rules the natural 2nd house of the zodiac, another financial house. This is the house where we earn a living. We're using our talents to make a living. It is a financial house. It rules over our earning ability and what we love and value. It rules over money. Another sign we should look at is the sign of Scorpio because Mars rules Scorpio, and Scorpio is going to be opposing this conjunction. Actually, the moon is going to be transiting in the sign of Scorpio. Scorpio rules the natural 8th house of the zodiac. This is the house where we keep our secrets that we keep from others and sometimes even from ourselves. It's a psychological house, but most of all, it's a financial house. This house rules over other people's money and earned income like loans, inheritances, financial windfalls. It also rules over sex, death, and taxes. This is the house where we bond with another on an intimate level. The 8th house, as I said, is the house of other people's money and earned wealth. As you can see, all these are financial houses, and they're going to be highlighted at the time of this conjunction. So this conjunction is most likely going to bring results in areas to do with what we love and value, other people's money, or the result we'll get as a result of past work. Another positive thing that is happening at the time of this conjunction is the fact that the ruler of this conjunction, the planet that rules Taurus, Venus, is finally visible. I definitely did not like Venus's invisibility. I'm literally celebrating that Venus is actually visible at the time of this conjunction. Venus, however, is not aspecting this conjunction because she's transiting the sign of Leo at around 4 degrees of Leo, not touching this conjunction, which is better than a negative aspect or an invisible Venus. So Venus is still going to be able to bring some type of healing energy because Venus is sextiling the south node, which she rules the sign of Libra, and she's trining the sign of Aries, the north node. This is bringing some kind of Venusian help, some type of karmic healing energy to this conjunction. And we need this. We need Venus to be visible, casting positive energy to the lunar nodes. Venus is opposing Pluto. This is an aspect that's going to bring a lot of obsession, jealousy, and perhaps stalking at the time of this conjunction. It's also going to bring major transformation in our relationships. Venus just recently became visible a week ago. So Venus is now an evening star. This is really helpful because we might need the negotiating and peacefulness of Venus at the time of this conjunction. There's just too much energy and too many things being activated at the time of this conjunction. Things are going to be flying all over the place. We're going to need Venus in order to keep things from getting out of control. Whatever is falling apart in your life, just trust and believe there is some type of help that is going to be there for you. There will be a shoulder to cry on. There will be someone bringing solid answers, solid resolutions. Remember, Saturn is aspecting this conjunction after all. Mars-Uranus conjunction strongly urges you to break out of the limiting situations in your life. This conjunction is going to break up the stagnancy in the Taurus area of your chart. It's going to absolutely shake this house up. So you have to keep an open mind and allow change and excitement to spice up your life. And this is because Uranus energy is sometimes radical, inventive, futuristic, and unpredictable. So expect people to act spontaneously, erratically, impulsively. This may cause some unwanted surprises and perhaps a lot of upsets in your life. Mars is a cutting energy, and combined with the excitable energy of Uranus, it can cause sudden mental anxiety and aggressive eruptions, which can lead to violence and sudden breakups in relationships. Mars rules over the 8th house of Scorpio. This is a sexual house, so Mars rules over sexual energy. And Uranus rules over what is unusual and perhaps kinky. So don't be surprised if your partner wants to get kinky all of a sudden. So if things have become stale and boring in your relationship, one of you might become rebellious, impulsive, and seek a different type of mate. I would encourage you to keep an open mind, especially if things have been kind of vanilla in your relationship. If you're single and looking, you might attract this type of relationship. Also remember that Mars is in detriment in the sign of Taurus because Mars rules the opposite sign of Scorpio. Taurus is a fixed sign. It's an earth fixed sign. This means that it's the most fixed of all the fixed signs. Taurus is a fixed sign that does not like radical change, anything unexpected. Taurus wants to take its time, is slow towards making changes. With Uranus there, Uranus has been transiting this area since 2018. Uranus has been shaking this area up, your Taurus house, and this conjunction is going to literally bring electric power and the firepower of Mars. This house is going to be shaken up, and perhaps this is what we need in this fixed sign in order to get things moving in this sign. Uranus also doesn't like being in the sign of Taurus. This is a sign of the unexpected. It's a sign that wants change. It's a futuristic planet. It rules over technology, things of the unknown. So transiting the sign of Taurus, where Taurus wants to be sure of where it's going, how it's going to get there, what time it's going to happen, Uranus is not functioning well in this sign. So technically here we have two planets that are in detriment and are probably going to act in a detrimental way, in a way that Venus does not like. Let's look at Venus. Where is Venus? Venus rules the sign of Taurus. So that means that Venus is hosting these two planets. So now that we get a good idea of what this conjunction is about, this will be an excellent time for us to evaluate the chart so that we can see what Venus is doing at the time of this conjunction. Looking at the chart, we're going to look at the house of Taurus. Let's see how many planets we have in there. We only have Mars and Uranus in the sign of Taurus at the time of this conjunction, so there is no other planet that is part of this Mars-Uranus synodic cycle. So let's find where Venus is, because Venus rules the sign of Taurus. Venus is currently transiting at around 4 degrees of Leo. Leo is a sign that squares the sign of Taurus, but fortunately 4 degrees is too far away from 26 degrees in order to have a direct square aspect. We might feel some type of challenging energy because this is still a square aspect by sign. Last month, Venus was Kazimi the Sun. She started a whole new cycle in the sign of Gemini, a new VSP at 14 degrees of Gemini. If you haven't watched my videos on the VSP, I suggest that you go back and watch those videos. Did this VSP awaken something in your chart? Venus is now visible as the evening star. She's a much more peaceful Venus, and she wants to bring reconciliation in relationships and in business agreement. However, Venus, the ruler of this conjunction, is opposing Pluto in the sign of Aquarius. Pluto is transiting retrograde at around 1 degree of Aquarius. This is an aspect that brings a lot of intensity and obsession to relationships. As you can see, there's a lot that's going to be probably kicked up at the time of this conjunction. And this is also because the other sign that is being aspected by this conjunction is Scorpio. Scorpio opposes Taurus. And in the sign of Scorpio, we have the moon transiting at around 11 degrees of Scorpio, opposing this conjunction. It is a wide opposition. Since the moon moves very fast, it's going to probably catch up to this conjunction. It's going to oppose this conjunction exactly in a few hours. The moon is in detriment in the sign of Scorpio because it's exalted in the opposite sign of Taurus. So we're not feeling emotionally stable at this time. We're probably dealing with a lot of obsessive feelings. And this is also because, remember, Pluto is opposing Venus. Pluto rules the sign of Scorpio. Mars is part of this conjunction. Mars rules the sign of Scorpio, and Mars Moon aspects are aspects of anger. Being emotional, jealous, and obsessive feelings are very likely, and perhaps being very upset and angry. A Mars Moon aspects can bring a lot of passion and anger to whatever they're touching in the chart. Another negative aspect that's happening, the Sun in Cancer is at 23 degrees of Cancer and is squaring Chiron, who is also at 23 degrees of Cancer. This is an aspect that's going to kick up our old wounds or have some people wounded at the time of this conjunction. And this could be the reason why, plainly speaking, some people are going to be pissed off and angry and perhaps losing their shit, drowning their emotions in alcohol or drugs. Remember that this whole conjunction is on top of malefic fixed star Algol. So please do not lose your shit. Do not lose your head. It can be quite dangerous. And you're not going to like the results of your actions. All the fixed signs have a planet transiting them. So it's going to mean that whatever anguish is going to erupt at this time is not going to be over something new. It's going to be over things we've probably been harboring. We've been harboring for a long time. And now it's all coming up. It's coming up suddenly. It's coming up unexpectedly. It's bringing a lot of passion, annoyance, and perhaps even rage for some. So be very careful around people and do not unnecessarily push people's buttons. You might not like the way they're going to react. They might overreact. They might impulsively react. The consequences could be quite dangerous. Now that we have the negative aspects out of the way, let's find the positive aspect. This conjunction at 26 degrees of Taurus conjunct malefic fixed star Algol, Mars and Uranus are all trining Pluto. This is a positive aspect. So amid the anguish and the confusion, there is an opportunity for positive transformation. This is a very harmonious aspect. This conjunction is also sextiling Neptune, who's transiting his own sign at around 29 degrees of Pisces. Neptune is currently transiting retrograde. This is an aspect of opportunity. So amid all the commotion, there is an opportunity for you to advance yourself in some way. Neptune is bringing rather dreamy energy. There is an opportunity for us to use our subconscious. Listen to your subconscious or the other side, or your psychic ability, or perhaps a psychic or an astrologer or your ancestors. They have some answers for you at the time of this conjunction. Another positive aspect is Saturn, also transiting retrograde in the sign of Pisces, is also aspecting this conjunction with the sextile aspect. The sextile aspect here is a very wide orb, but because these are outer planets, I give about a 10-degree orb for you to feel this aspect. So Saturn is bringing some type of stability if you take constructive action using this erratic, rebellious energy of Uranus, and also using the power and the thrust and fire of Mars. There is an opportunity to make this energy work for you, but you have to be able to take action. The Sun in the sign of Cancer is also aspecting this conjunction. Sun at 23 degrees of Cancer is sextiling this conjunction. The sextile aspect is an aspect of opportunity. All these sextiles and trines are the positive aspects of this conjunction. So I'm going to keep reminding you, whatever is falling apart in your life, there is hope. There is somebody who is looking out for you. There is a shoulder to cry on. There is a solution. You just have to be open to taking action and being able to take perhaps futuristic action, something that is different. The things that you do all the time are not going to serve you as a solution at the time of this conjunction. You have to be inventive in your thinking. You have to be futuristic. You have to be able to use technology. You have to be able to react very fast and also think very fast. You have to be on your feet. There is no time for procrastination or being depressed and highly emotional at the time of this conjunction. It's not going to work out well for you if you fall into the darker energy of the opposition from Scorpio, the moon in Scorpio being in detriment, and the opposition from the ruler of Scorpio, Pluto, opposing Venus, the ruler of this conjunction. Mercury at 19 degrees is squaring this conjunction. There is a bit of a wide orb, but Mercury is a fast-moving planet. We are definitely going to feel this square aspect. And the square from Mercury to Mars is unexpected news. This could be news that is quite upsetting and unexpected, simply because Uranus is part of this conjunction. So it's essentially Mars and Uranus are being squared by Mercury. So Mercury is bringing some type of unexpected, unwelcome news, and news that is going to upset us. Mercury square Mars is an aspect of fighting words. So yes, it's very likely that there will be major arguments around the time of this conjunction. So pick your fights carefully. Would you rather fight to be right and end up being alone? Or would you rather just walk the other way? This is going to be a scrappy one. I don't know if I see winners here. So who's going to have a positive experience with this conjunction? It is the earth signs. The earth signs are Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. And this is because you're going to receive a trine aspect. A trine aspect in astrology is the luckiest aspect. It allows the energy to flow to your houses in a harmonious way. You're going to get events happen for you rather easily and effortlessly. You are the signs that are more likely to benefit from other people's destruction or misery. The sign that is going to be impacted the most, of course, is you, Taurus, simply because this conjunction is happening in your sign. It's going to be rather intense for you, but I think this is going to be positive. The other signs who are going to have a positive experience with this conjunction are the water signs, and the water signs are Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. The water signs are going to have a sextile aspect. This is a rather positive, harmonious aspect, which brings us opportunities. So you will be given opportunities at the time of this conjunction. However, the sextile aspect is a Martian aspect. It requires you to take some type of action. Make effort to take advantage of the opportunities, otherwise the energy is just going to dissipate. The fixed signs are going to have a rather challenging time with this conjunction, and the fixed signs are Taurus. This conjunction is happening in your sign. You're going to get the conjunction. That is a hard aspect. Leo is the other fixed sign. Scorpio is the other fixed sign. Aquarius is also a fixed sign. Aquarius and Leo are going to square this conjunction. A square aspect is one of the most challenging aspects in astrology. You're probably going to be pushed into taking action, and perhaps that is exactly what you need in order to have the energy move in the Taurus house of your chart. The other Scorpio is going to have the opposition aspect. This conjunction is taking place. It is taking place on your descendant, which opposes the ascendant. This means that your partners, your business partners, marriage, or any other type of committed relationship you have with another person, these people are going to have the power, and the power of your ruling planet Mars can be rather aggressive when it's sitting on your descendant. And the other negative factor is that you have the moon transiting your sign. The moon is in detriment in the sign of Scorpio. You're going to be dealing with some rather challenging energy, and most likely with other people opposing you, being against you. If you were born on or around the 15th of July, you're going to have this spectacular energy in your solar return chart. This is an excellent time for you to perhaps win a free solar return chart reading or book a solar return chart reading with me. You're going to want to know where this conjunction is falling in your solar return chart, which house is being activated. This is where you're going to have this massive energy that is probably going to be quite radical, revolutionary, and is going to bring major change in your life. If Mars is your lord of the year in Hellenistic astrology, this is an activation point. So it's very likely that you're going to have an event occur at the time of this conjunction. If Mars is ruling your solar return ascendant for the year, meaning you have an Aries rising, meaning that you have an Aries or a Scorpio ascendant as your solar return ascendant, Mars is activating something in your chart. So you are also going to probably have an event occur. If you're new to my channel and you have not yet subscribed, please hit subscribe. Also make sure to leave me a comment in the comment section of this video. Tell me where you're tuning in from. Commenting and liking my videos really helps my channel grow. It helps push my videos to other people who love astrology. So let the algorithm know that you're enjoying the content of this video, and you can do this by liking, sharing, and commenting. I'm truly grateful for any action that you take in order to help my channel grow. Aries ascendant, sun or moon. This radical conjunction is happening in your second house. This is where you should expect something to happen suddenly and unexpectedly. Aries, like I always tell you, if you've not listened to the introduction of this video, I suggest you go back and listen to the entire introduction, because I discuss the aspects of this event and you set the order of the zodiac. So whatever is said in any video is very relevant to you. So sweet and short, the second house is the house of value. This is the house of what we love and value. It's a financial house. This is the house of our earning ability, our ability to take our talents and make a living out of it. The second house is the house of the family that we create with another person. And this person could be a spouse, or perhaps friends that we've had in our life for a very long time, and they've become family. This is the house where all of this is happening. This is the house of focus. So the planets that are involved in this conjunction are Mars and Uranus. Mars is your ruling planet, but it also rules the 8th house. It also rules the sign of Scorpio, which is your 8th house, other people's money and earned income, sex, death, and taxes. Where Uranus rules Aquarius, your 11th house. This is a house of our hopes, dreams, and wishes. It is a house that rewards the work that we do in the 10th house, our past efforts. This is where we get the promotions, the accolades, and the financial windfalls. So Aries, you can see clearly here that this is going to be some type of financial breakthrough, some type of liberation. It could involve the groups that you belong to. It could involve your uncle or some type of benefactor. Perhaps you're going to get the financing that you need. You're probably going to be starting your own business at this time. This might bring a radical shift in your self-esteem, because the second house also rules over our self-esteem. If we're making money, we're earning a good living, we feel good about ourselves. So all the financial houses are activated and stimulated at the time of this lunation. This could be very positive for you, Aries. Your ruling planet Mars is a major part of this conjunction, in the fact that Mars is the one who's having Mars is having a new synodic cycle with Uranus. You have this conjunction every 2 years. You have a big say here. You can direct this energy. You can direct this energy because you're bringing the fire and the passion to this conjunction. And since the second house rules over the mouth, what goes in, out of the mouth, and what goes in and out of the mouth, you have the chance to state your case here. Remember that Mercury is squaring this conjunction. So you're probably being pushed into taking action, or probably saying certain things that you've been holding back on for a while. So this is the time for you to speak your piece and state your case. Aries, if you would like to know how this is going to affect you according to your own natal birth chart, I suggest that you book a reading with me at rachel-mayo.com. Take advantage of the $80 special reading, which is a limited time offer, so please book now. Taurus, ascendant, sun, or moon. This conjunction is happening in your first house. It's happening conjunct your ascendant. This is an angle house. Whenever an angle house is activated, it activates all the other angles in your chart. So this means that this conjunction could absolutely change your entire life. It could change your home area, it could change your work area, and it could also change your relationship axis, your partners, your marriage. And this is all because of the changes that are going to occur within you personally, spiritually, emotionally. This is really, really big, Taurus. If you've not listened to the entire introduction of this video, I suggest that you go and listen to the whole entire introduction. This is your event, Taurus. This video is really about you. Conjunction is one of the harshest aspects that we have in astrology. So you definitely feel it when it is, you definitely feel it, especially when it's on your ascendant. The ascendant also rules over the body. It rules how other people see you. It's very likely that people have been telling you that you've been acting rather erratic, unusual, or radical since 2018, when Uranus started transiting your sign. If you've been seeking liberation of some sort, this conjunction could liberate you. If you've been wanting to come out about your sexual identity, this is the transit that you're going to use to come out and let the world know who you are. Mars is the planet that rules Scorpio, and Scorpio is your descendant. Other angle which is also being activated at this time, and Mars is in detriment in your sign, so it's very likely that your partners, business partners, are acting in a rather erratic and unusual way, and perhaps even aggressive towards you at this time. In the sign of Scorpio, we have the moon, which is in detriment because it's exalted when it's in your sign. This is another indicator that your partners are acting in a rather insecure, obsessive, emotional, or jealous way. Or there is a lot of jealousy and possessiveness going on at this time. And this is also because you're ruled by Venus. Venus is ruling this conjunction. Venus is transiting in the sign of Leo, which squares you. So this is another point of contention, contentious energy. But the most intense aspect here is the fact that Venus is opposing Pluto. Pluto is the other ruler of your descendant. there's massive energy going on here, and the only way you're going to know how this is going to affect you personally is by getting a personal chart reading. Book a reading with me at rachel-mayo.com. Take advantage of the $80 special reading on this conjunction. It is a limited time offer, so book now. This transit is going to change your life. It changed my life 2 years ago when it was conjunct my moon. It changed my relationship with other people's money. It changed my relationship with my partner. We went from a dating relationship to a domestic relationship. So you also have to consider if this conjunction is conjuncting anything in your chart, because it's going to activate that planet. If it's your moon sign, expect changes in your emotional world, your mother, your home, and your health. The moon also rules the body, especially females. Your reproductive health may come into focus. Mars rules your 7th house and your 12th house. However, with this conjunction, we're going to focus on the rulership of Scorpio, your 7th house, because this is the house that's being aspected. Uranus rules your 10th house. It is a part of this conjunction. This is another angle ruler. It rules over your identity and how other people see you. So perhaps all the changes that are going to come up as a result of this conjunction are going to bring a change in your status, or the changes that you're going to make personally and in your relationships are going to change. You are going to change how other people see you publicly. Perhaps some of you are going to decide to get married, and perhaps as a result of you starting some type of business or venture with a partner to change your status, or how the public sees you. In order for me to make a clear prediction about what is being activated in these houses, I would have to know if you have any planets in these houses, in the houses that are being activated by these two planets. So Taurus, expect radical shift in how others see you, or how you want other people to see you. And with Mars transiting your ascendant, you have to be careful of accidents or acting rather impulsively or radically. And since Mars rules your descendant, it could be your partner that pushes you into taking some type of negative action. So this negative action is also going to impact how other people see you publicly. Your status in society could change as a result of whatever occurs because of this event. This could be a tough one, Taurus. I'm not going to lie to you. This is going to change your life. This is one of those transits you definitely want to get a reading for, because there's just way too many planets being activated, too much going on, and the fact that all this isn't on top of Algol in your own sign. Gemini, ascendant, sun, or moon. This conjunction is happening in your 12th house. This is where you should expect something to happen suddenly and unexpectedly. The 12th house is the hidden house. This is the house that rules over far off foreign lands. It rules over spirituality, our psychic ability. This is the house that rules over rest and sleeping, also dreams. It rules over the other side, or things that we know that are there but we can't touch them or see them. This is the house where we are blind. This is why this house also rules over our hidden enemies, our unknown enemies. And sometimes our unknown enemy could be ourselves through self-sabotage, drinking too much, overeating, getting involved in illicit affairs, just plainly doing bad things behind the scenes, things that you don't want other people to see you do. This is why this house also rules over sex. So this is the area where all this energy is going to be lit, is going to be activated. And you're going to probably feel this energy on a deep subconscious level. Perhaps your psychic ability is going to be awoken at this time, your third eye. You're going to be able to receive messages from the other side. Some of you could become astrologers or psychics or mediums as a result of the activation of this hidden space. Your ruling planet Mercury is aspecting this conjunction by a square aspect. Perhaps you're bringing some type of insight, or you're going to receive some type of message in a rather unexpected, perhaps even violent way. Is because Mercury is squaring this aspect, is squaring this conjunction. This square aspect tends to bring rather unexpected news, perhaps news that we're not ready to deal with, and perhaps that news that is upsetting. Mars rules two houses in your chart. It rules your 6th house and your 11th house. We're going to focus on your 6th house because it is your 6th house that is being aspected at the time of this conjunction. The 11th house is not activated because it's not aspecting this conjunction. The 6th house rules over our daily routine. It rules over our health, our pets. It rules over the work that we do on a daily basis. It also rules over our known enemies. So perhaps your known enemy here is your bad eating habits. Maybe you smoke or you do drugs or you're an alcoholic. All this energy is going to be brought into the 12th house of healing. Perhaps you receive some rather negative news about your health and you're checked into hospital, or you receive something negative about an enemy, because the 6th house also rules over our known enemies. We know them in this house. In the 12th house, we don't know who they are. So perhaps your hidden enemies are exposed in the 12th house, and now you know your enemy and you're dealing with them. Uranus rules your 9th house. You may be dealing with them using the legal system. Your 9th house is also activated here because Uranus rules your 9th house. The 9th house rules over the justice system. This is where the lawyers come in, and it also rules over foreign lands, foreign languages. It rules over our belief system, a belief system that was handed down to us from somebody who we look up to, perhaps your father, a priest, a guru, a professor. And I'm seeing a connection with foreign lands here because the 12th house does rule over far off foreign lands. The 9th house is the house of foreigners and foreign languages. And some of you could be living in a foreign country. Perhaps you get into an accident or some type of altercation and you end up in hospital in a foreign land, or you end up in a hospital here because the 12th house rules over hospitals, and it could be a hospital anywhere. And if you take radical and impulsive action because of this conjunction, you could end up in jail, or you could end up suffering some really negative health consequences. The houses that are activated in your chart talk about these serious situations and the justice system. I would really advise you to be careful in your communications at the time of this conjunction. Cancer, ascendant, sun, or moon. This conjunction is happening in your 11th house. This is where you should expect something to happen suddenly and unexpectedly. The 11th house is, fortunately for you, a happy house. The 11th house rules over the social media platforms that we belong to, our friends, our uncles, and our benefactors. The 11th house is the house that rewards all the hard work that we did in the 10th house, our past initiatives. This is the house where we receive the accolades, financial windfalls, and the promotions. This is the house that rules over our hopes, dreams, and wishes. So essentially, this is where our hopes, dreams, and wishes could be suddenly unexpectedly fulfilled. This is really positive for you, Cancer. Remember, the sign of Cancer aspects the sign of Taurus with a sextile aspect, which is a rather positive aspect, bringing opportunities your way. Opportunities which are only valid if you take action. Keep an eye out for opportunities and take initiative. Cancer, if you've not listened to the introduction of this video, I suggest that you go and listen to the entire introduction. There's a wealth of information that you can use to find out how this conjunction is going to aspect you according to your own natal birth chart. Remember that the sun is still transiting in the sign of Cancer, so you are possibly going to be born on this day and have this energy for your solar return chart. It's an excellent time for you to book a reading with me, Rachel-Mayo.com. Take a chance at the free solar return chart reading. Comment a free solar and subscribe in the comments below. Make sure your subscription is open. Your ruling planet, the moon, is actually involved in this conjunction because it's currently transiting Scorpio and is opposing this conjunction. However, the moon is in detriment in the sign of Scorpio because it's exalted in the opposite sign where the conjunction is happening. So you're probably not feeling your best best self at this time. You're feeling emotional, insecure. Maybe you're getting these feelings of possessiveness and jealousy hitting you at the time of this conjunction. You might be feeling really vulnerable and fragile. Mars rules your fifth house and your 10th house. However, in this conjunction, we're going to focus Mars's rulership over your fifth house, your Scorpio house, where your ruling planet is actually transiting. The fifth house is a happy house. So there is some positivity going on here simply because the fifth house rules over our creative ability, our children, which are our greatest creation. It rules our talents. It rules over past life karma that we earned in a past life that is available for us to use in this lifetime. So that luck is being activated as a result of this conjunction. So since you are the moon and you're opposing this conjunction, you're going to feel some type of opposition from the people in the 11th house. Oppositions from your friends, your uncles, or perhaps some type of disagreement on social media. The moon opposing this conjunction of Mars and Uranus can bring erratic emotions, unexpected, impulsive, passive aggressive behavior. All those are things to look out for. So Cancer, it's very likely that you're one of the people who could potentially lose their shit at the time of this conjunction. So make sure that whatever action that you're taking is action that is going to bring positive results. Uranus rules your 8th house. The 8th house is the house of our secrets. It is a psychological house. It rules over other people's money. Unearned income like loans and inheritances or some other type of financial windfalls. So you can see that you have 3 financial houses activated. The 11th house is the house of gains, financial windfalls. The 8th house is the house of other people's money and earned money. So it's very likely that some of you become an overnight celebrity in the groups that you belong to or using social media platform, and this brings massive wealth to you, or you get rewards from past efforts you did using other people's money from the 8th house, or you get lucky and get access to other people's money, perhaps because you won the lottery. Your 5th house of past life luck is activated. Cancer, this could be a life-changing event for you. So please take advantage of the $80 special reading. Book a reading with me now, because you're going to have this spectacular energy somewhere in your solar return chart. This is going to be a year that you're going to make massive changes. This is a life-changing transit. Leo, ascendant, sun, or moon. This radical conjunction is happening in your 10th house. This is where you're going to have things happen suddenly and unexpectedly. The 10th house is an angle house, and when an angle house is activated, it activates all the other angles in your chart, and it can absolutely change your life. Leo, if you've not listened to the introduction of this video, I suggest that you go back and listen to the entire introduction, because there's a lot of information that you can use to decipher how this energy is going to affect you according to your own natal placements. And if you would like further help, I suggest that you book a reading with me at rachel-mayo.com. The 10th house is a public house. This is the house that rules over the government, your job, your boss, and other authority figures. This is also a parental axis and most likely rules the more dominant parent, which is most likely your father or perhaps even your mother, is going to be going on with one of your parents. Your ruling planet, the sun, is involved in this conjunction. The sun is sextiling this conjunction. The sun is transiting at around 23 degrees of Cancer. The sextile aspect is a very positive and harmonious aspect. It requires you to take actions. You just can't lay back and think things are just going to fall your way. You have to do something, especially because Leo squares the sign of Taurus. This is a challenging aspect. You are possibly going to be pushed into taking action. So if you've been procrastinating about changing things in your Taurus house, this conjunction is bringing the fire that you need to put a light under your butt and to get things moving. So make sure you're using the energy of your ruling planet, the sun. Mars rules the fourth house and the ninth house in your chart. However, we're going to focus on the rulership of the fourth house because the ninth house is not being aspected. Uranus rules the seventh house of your chart. This is another angle house. So you can see a pattern here. 10th house is an angle house, 4th house is an angle house, and the 7th house is an angle house. And they're all activated at this time. Now that we see that the 4th house, the other parental axis, is also activated and ruled by Mars, the moon is transiting the 4th house. And when the moon is at the bottom of our chart, we're going to feel highly emotional and sensitive because the IC is the most sensitive angle in our chart. And this is opposing this conjunction. So you're getting an opposition and a square aspect. All these are challenging energies. The 4th house rules over our mother, our home, our deep hidden emotions like resentments towards our home, family, or our ancestry. The areas that are being activated. And Uranus rules the 7th house. The 7th house rules over our partnerships, it rules over our committed partnerships, business agreements, our marriage, anything that we have to do with another person. So perhaps something is going on with a spouse that is affecting your home area, and because of the changes that is affecting your home area and your 10th house area, perhaps you're going to suddenly get a promotion, or perhaps you're going to get fired, and this is going to affect your marriage and it's going to affect your home. Some of you may have to move homes as a result of this conjunction. Perhaps the changes that are going to occur in the public area are not going to be positive, and they're going to affect your marriage, they're going to affect your home. And as a result of this, maybe a job loss or a gain in status of some kind. Leo, it's very difficult for me to decipher how this is going to affect you personally because there's just too many houses and planets being activated at the same time, and I have no idea what you have in those houses. The best way to see what's really happening is for you to get a reading with me at rachel-mayo.com. Virgo, ascendant, sun, or moon. This conjunction is happening in your 9th house. This is where you should expect something to happen suddenly and unexpectedly. The 9th house rules over the justice system. It rules over foreign lands, foreign languages. This is the house of our higher belief system. It rules over religion. It rules over universities, priests, gurus, and professors. This is the house of our future. So this event is really going to alter your future. It's going to change your life. Your ruling planet Mercury is involved at the time of this conjunction, and it's aspecting this conjunction by a tough aspect, a square aspect from the sign of Leo. You are Mercury. The square aspect to Uranus and Mercury is sudden, unexpected news that you could be delivering or you could be receiving. And the square to Mars could really row you up because this is an aspect that is bringing unpleasant news that is going to make you quite angry because Mars is receiving an opposition from the moon as well. So these are the things that you need to consider as far as the rulerships, the ruling planets being activated at this time. Mars rules your 3rd and your 8th house. However, for the purpose of this discussion, we're going to focus on Mars's rulership of the 3rd house, your Scorpio house, because the 8th house is not aspected at the time of this conjunction. The 3rd house rules over our immediate environment. It rules over our siblings. It rules over our gadgets, like our phone, our computers, our vehicles. It rules over our neighborhood. Uranus rules over the 6th house. The 6th house rules over our daily habits, our daily routine, our health, our known enemies. And our known enemies here could be our daily habit, our health habits, our bad habits like drinking, smoking, doing drugs. All those are going to be highlighted at this time. So perhaps you have a situation going on in your immediate environment with your sibling or a neighbor, and there is some type of altercation that happens as a result of the square to this conjunction. It happens erratically and unexpectedly, and you have to take action right away. The third house rules over our mind and our speech, and Mars is being activated at the time of this conjunction in the sign of Scorpio with the moon in there. Perhaps you have these obsessive feelings of jealousy, insecurity, and you're projecting these feelings onto your siblings or your neighborhoods or the people within your sphere, your immediate environment, and you're getting triggered at the time of this conjunction. So it's very likely that you are the person that is triggering other people. As a result, you could end up getting into a physical fight, an explosive, unexpected blowout. It's really this could be a very dangerous situation, because the sixth house is the house of hospitals. The sixth house is the house of health, so you might end up getting some kind of health, some kind of medication or some type of treatment to deal with whatever perhaps PTSD that happens as a result of this conjunction, or perhaps an accident while driving in your neighborhood. So I'm going to tell you to be very aware of your immediate surroundings. Pay attention to what's going on with other people, because anything could erupt at any given moment, and you could be it could be happening to you as a result of other people's actions. Virgo, I have to add this in. Just in case some of you are traveling, the ninth house rules over foreign land. So some of you could essentially be away from home. So you could have these altercations in a foreign country, and some of these altercations could have legal consequences, simply because the ninth house is the house of law and justice. So just be aware that all these are possibilities, and you do have some level of protection here, simply because Virgo is an earth sign. So there is a trine aspect that is forming to this conjunction in Taurus. The only caveat here is that there is this square. You are Mercury, so you are making an angry square to Mars and Uranus, and this conjunction is highly unpredictable. The other reason is also because of the emotional nature that is going on with the moon being in your third house of the mind. So this can spell some kind of disaster. Just be very careful and only pick arguments that you're very sure you're going to win, and they're not going to require you getting into a physical altercation. There is protective energy because of the trine. So I hope everything goes well. Virgo, the sixth house also rules over your known enemies. The hidden enemies are in the 12th house. The known enemies are in the 6th house. And these could be people who you work with. Maybe there's a promotion that is being offered, or some type of competition, and you have to go against your co-worker. Or perhaps you have an altercation with your co-worker or somebody in your work environment, or perhaps at a gym. Something could possibly happen with your pet. So be careful if you're walking your pet. Make sure they're on their leash and not getting into fights with other dogs or animals. This energy is very volatile, so you have to really just be very careful in what you're doing, in your daily routine, in your daily habits. Please also be careful when taking medications. Virgo, if you've not listened to the introduction of this video, I suggest that you listen to the entire introduction. There is a lot of information that's going to help you understand just how this is going to affect you according to your natal placements. And if you'd like to get a reading with me, I suggest that you book a reading at rachel-mayo.com. Libra, ascendant, sun or moon. This conjunction is happening in your 8th house. This is where you should expect something to happen suddenly and unexpectedly. The 8th house is a hidden house. It is a house where we hide our secrets that we hide even from ourselves. It's a psychological house. The 8th house rules over other people's money and earned wealth, like loans, inheritances, financial windfalls. This house also rules over death, sex, and taxes. This is a house where we bond with another person, on a deep level. This is an intimate sexual house. It is a house of shared resources. Libra, if you've not listened to the introduction of this video, I suggest that you go back and listen to the entire introduction. Your ruling planet Venus is highly activated at the time of this conjunction. You're going to want to use that information to decipher how this could affect you according to your own natal placements. Your ruling planet Venus is the ruler of this conjunction. She is finally visible as the evening star. This is really positive. This is really positive. It's going to help us bring some type of balance and healing. Venus is currently transiting the sign of Leo. Venus is the ruler of the transiting south node and is aspecting the south node with a sextile aspect. She's also aspecting the north node with a trine aspect. This is really positive energy, and her visibility as an evening star is also very helpful. Your ruling planet is opposing Pluto at this conjunction, and this is a very intense opposition. It's going to bring obsessive feelings. Obsessive actions are going to be triggered in you or others, because an opposition is an aspect of you dealing with another person, the person across from you. You may be so focused on what's going on with this opposition that you're just going to see the fallout of what's going to happen as a result of the conjunction in the sign of Taurus, which you do not aspect. Mars rules your second house and your seventh house. In this discussion, we're going to focus on Mars rulership of your second house, your Scorpio house, because there's an aspect here, an aspect of opposition, and we have the moon transiting this sign. And this is important because the rulers of Scorpio, Mars and Pluto, are both doing something at the time of this event. Uranus rules your fifth house. The fifth house rules over our creative ability. It rules over our children. It rules over past life karma, good luck that we have from our past life or our early life when we did something good, and now that good luck is coming back, is being activated as a result of this conjunction, and it could happen quite suddenly. Libra, you are one of the signs that could have some type of financial windfall, and remember, the eighth house is, after all, the house that rules over death. Perhaps somebody is going to transition as a result of this conjunction, and because of that you're going to receive an inheritance. Some of you could be that you started your own business and you have not turned a profit, and when the fifth house gets activated with Mars, suddenly you're going to reap a profit. You're going to gain from other people's money, other people's wealth from the eighth house. The second house also rules over our earning ability. And with Mars here, you're already used to asserting yourself and taking action in order to earn a living. You're very proactive in this area because Mars energy requires you to take action. So I trust that you're not going to sleep on any opportunities that are going to come your way, because as a result of this conjunction, there will be opportunities, financial opportunities. Second house rules over our earning ability. It rules over what we love and value. It rules over the family that we make with another person, like a spouse or a friend who's been in our life for a very long time, that they begin to feel like family. So perhaps some of you are going into a business venture with a family with a friend who's like family. You're going to do something that is highly futuristic and uses technology, something that is going to bring massive wealth into your life. Some of you will be lucky in that you have a big win by taking a financial gamble, some type of financial risk, perhaps with the stocks, or perhaps at the casino, or maybe you buy a bunch of lottery tickets and you win because your past life karma, your good luck is being activated. Libra, there's just so much going on at the time of this event. If you want to know how this is really going to affect you, personally, I suggest that you book a reading with me at rachel-mayo.com. Take advantage of the $80 reading special. It's a limited time offer, so book now. Scorpio ascendant, sun or moon. This event is happening in your seventh house. This is where you're going to have something happen suddenly and unexpectedly. The seventh house is an angle house. When an angle house is activated, it activates all the other angles in your chart. So this means that this event could absolutely turn your life upside down. It could absolutely change all your relationships, because the seventh house rules over our committed partnerships, it rules over our marriage, it rules over our business partnerships. It also rules anything that we do with the other person. It is also a sexual house because, of course, in order to have sex, most of the time we do need another person. So that is also activated. The seventh house opposes the ascendant. The ascendant is you. So you are dealing with another person here. These two angles square the MC and the IC. Home area is activated. Your work area is activated. This is a time when tables could turn. Scorpio, if you've not listened to the introduction of this video, I suggest that you go back and listen to the entire introduction. There's a lot of planets that are being activated at this time, including your planets. So if you'd like, this will help you decipher how this energy is affecting you according to your own natal placements. And if you want to know more, I suggest that you book a reading with me at rachel-mayo.com. Take advantage of the $80 special reading for this conjunction. It's a limited time offer, so book now. Your ruling planets, Mars and Pluto, are highly involved at the time of this event. Mars is the planet that is conjuncting Uranus and activating Uranus. Mars is the planet also that activated the prior Jupiter-Uranus conjunction. The conjunction is happening in your seventh house. It means that your partners have the power at the time of this conjunction. You have the moon transiting your sign, opposing this conjunction. The moon here makes you feel kind of vulnerable, insecure, obsessive, and perhaps a lot of jealousy is going on here. And the other reason I say this is because Pluto, currently transiting the sign of Aquarius, is opposing Venus in the sign of Leo. Venus is the ruler of this conjunction. Venus rules your descendant. So there is a power struggle going on in partnerships at the time of this event. And perhaps some of these power struggles may have started a few days before this became exact. Pluto is the planet that rules you, and opposing Venus is another reason why I say there's a lot of jealousy and resentment going on at the time of this event, and perhaps some anger because your own ruling planet is opposing the moon, which is transiting your sign, which is already making you feel some type of way. And this opposition interaction with the moon is an aspect that just makes you annoyed, passionate, and aggressive. And there are other aspects at the time of this conjunction that are just making everybody feel out of control. So Scorpio, I'm going to encourage you to really be patient with yourself. Do not be impulsive. Do not lose your shit. Do not lose your head. Whatever you do, keep your cool. It's not important for you to be always right. Is it better for you to be right or to be alone? Because this is what could possibly happen. There could be a severing of a relationship because of all the animosity and aggressive behavior that may happen at the time of this conjunction. And you might be the person bringing the aggression to the other person. So you have to definitely watch your temper. You have to definitely watch your anger and your aggressive and impulsive action. You're not going to like the consequences of your aggressive actions. We've already established that Mars rules you. It also rules your sixth house. Your sixth house is not in focus because your sixth house, it does not aspect the sign of Taurus. Uranus rules your fourth house. You are Mars conjuncting your fourth house ruler could essentially mean that there is something eruptive and aggressive going on in your fourth house. Perhaps you're moving homes, or perhaps there will be some type of altercation that will happen in the home area and bring a breakup in the home area, or a breakup in a relationship that results in people moving out. Some of you could be having massive construction going on in your home area, or perhaps renovation is about to be completed at the time of this conjunction. Scorpio, you have a lot of responsibility here because both your ruling planets are being aspected in a rather negative way, making you quite excitable. You might face some negative consequences here, depending on how you react to whatever events arise at the time of this conjunction. Sagittarius, ascendant, sun, or moon. This conjunction is happening in your sixth house. This is where you're going to have something happen suddenly and unexpectedly. The sixth house is a fighting house. This is the house where we fight because it rules over our daily routine. It rules over the work that we do on a daily basis. And of course, going to work every day is not an easy task. It's a task that requires effort. It also rules over our co-workers, our supervisors. This is the area that rules over our daily routine, what we eat every day, our diet. It also rules over our exercise habits. So it rules our health. It could rule things like our medications that we're on. This is also the house of our pets. We take care of our pets on a daily basis. It is also the house of our known enemies, and our known enemies could be our bad habits like eating too much, drinking, smoking. All these are the areas that are going to be highlighted as a result of this conjunction. We're going to focus on Mars's rulership of the 12th house and not the 5th house. The 12th house is a hidden house. It is a house of our hidden enemies. It rules over foreign lands, far off foreign lands. This house rules over our sleep and our dreams. It rules over generational karma, karma that you did not make, karma that was handed to you because of your last name. So this has nothing to do with you. This is something like the sins of the father. The 12th house rules over places like hospitals, jails, asylums. It rules over the things that we do behind the scenes. It also rules over our self-sabotaging habits like illicit affairs, drinking too much, doing drugs, or some type of self-harm. So Sagittarius, you have this dynamic that your 12th house of hidden enemies is activated and your 6th house of known enemies is also activated. What you say and what you think about is very important at the time of this conjunction because it's going to determine whether you end up in jail, in hospital, or you end up just changing your diet some way or your diet and exercise regimen in some way in order to take advantage of this conjunction in your 6th house. This is a conjunction that could bring some sudden discovery that you have something wrong with your body, with your health. Or perhaps some of you will be needing some type of surgery as a result of this conjunction because Mars has a cutting effect in the 6th house. And since this house also rules over your health, it can also rule over doctors, surgeons who need to use knives in order to cut something out. So you could have some sudden type of accident that is negative because it is an accident, but because of that accident, you're in hospital and perhaps some type of other health problem is discovered at this time. Perhaps your doctor discovers that you have a cancerous tumor and they can cut it out. So you had this accident that was negative, but this accident brought you to get treatment from a doctor who discovers something that is something that is unexpected, and you use advanced technology or futuristic type of treatments in order to cut the cancer out. So in the end, this transit actually is working for you. Ruling planet Jupiter is not aspecting this conjunction, so we're going to leave Jupiter out of it. This essentially means that you might not be the person that is directly involved, who's bringing action to whatever is happening at the time of this conjunction. The things could be happening directly to your 6th house people, your 6th house situations. Maybe something is happening with your pet or something is happening with your co-workers and you're involved in that way. Uranus rules your 3rd house. The 3rd house rules over our immediate environment. It rules over our siblings, our neighbors, our neighborhood. It rules over our communication. It also rules over the gadgets that we use every day, like our computers and our phones. Perhaps something is going on with a sibling or perhaps in your neighborhood. We have to integrate all other houses that these 2 planets rule in order to get a result in the 6th house. It could bring you some type of immense anxiety because you just don't know what to do or what to think. Sagittarius, if you've not listened to the introduction of this video, I suggest that you go and listen to the introduction because you can see what else is being activated. Use that information to see how this is going to affect you according to your own natal placement. And if you want further help, I suggest that you take advantage of the $80 special reading. The $80 special reading that I'm running is a limited time offer, so book now. Capricorn, ascendant, sun or moon. This conjunction is happening in your fifth house. This is where you'll have something happen suddenly and unexpectedly. Fortunately for you, the fifth house is a lucky house. This house rules over our past life karma, our good luck karma, for karma that is available to us now because of the good deeds that we did in a past life or earlier in our younger years. The fifth house rules over our creative ability. Our greatest creation are our children. It rules over romance. It rules over our talents, our creative talents. And sometimes we use our creative talents to open a business. So Capricorn, if you've not listened to the introduction of this video, I recommend that you go back and listen to the entire introduction. This is going to help you evaluate your own natal birth chart. And if you'd like further help with that, I suggest that you take advantage of the $80 special that I'm running for this conjunction. It's a limited time offer, so book now. Planet Saturn is aspecting this conjunction with a sextile aspect from the sign of Pisces. Saturn is currently transiting retrograde, so you're probably going over a material in your Pisces house, and perhaps you've discovered something that is going to help you propel the energy towards your Taurus house. Saturn is giving longevity to whatever is happening erratically, suddenly, and radically. Saturn is bringing it a yes. So this is very helpful. You are Saturn, so you're very directly involved. You can control some of the energy that is happening in your Taurus house, your fifth house. You can perhaps control how your children are reacting. If your children are acting rather impulsively and erratically or radically, you're going to perhaps discipline them in a very constructive way using past methods. Mars rules your fourth house and your 11th house. We're not going to focus on the fourth house rulership. We're going to focus on the 11th house rulership because this is the sign of Scorpio, and this is where the moon is opposing this whole conjunction. Your 11th house is another happy house. The 11th house rules over social media platforms that we belong to. It rules over our friends. It rules over our uncles, our aunties. The 11th house is the house that rewards all the work that we did in the 10th house. This is where we receive the promotions, the accolades, recognitions from our peers. This is the house of wish fulfillment. Uranus rules your second house. The second house is the house that rules over our earning ability. It rules over what we love and value. It rules over the family that we create with another person. And these people could be our spouse or our friends that we've known for a long time, and we look at them as family. You can see a pattern forming here. We have 3 financial houses activated at the time of this event. One of the signs that could have a massive financial windfall breakthrough at the time of this event, and this could be as a result of you getting lucky maybe at the casino or with your friends or in the groups that you belong to. Some of you will get a financial windfall in that you're going to finally have a breakthrough. Perhaps you're going to become an overnight celebrity. Perhaps you're going to go viral. Who knows? Some of you will get lucky with the lottery and have a major financial windfall, and you will use this money to start your own business using your talents, your creative ability that are activated in the 5th house. And the 5th house is the house of business that we initiate using our talents, and the 2nd house is the money of our earning ability. There is a story unfolding here. You are an earth sign. Taurus is an earth sign. You naturally trine this house. Things are going to happen effortlessly for you. Aquarius, ascendant, sun, or moon. This conjunction is happening in your 4th house. This is where something will happen suddenly and unexpectedly. The 4th house is an angle house. So when an angle house is activated, it activates all the other angles in your chart. This means that this event, this one single conjunction, could absolutely change your entire life. And this is because the 4th house is a parental axis. It rules over your home area, your mother, your ancestry. It rules over your deep hidden emotions and your resentments. Perhaps resentments that you have towards your ancestry, your home, your family, your mother. This house also rules over endings, deep endings, deep karmic endings. Your ruling planets, Saturn and Uranus, are also very involved in. So this means that you have some kind of say, some type of control as to what is going to happen or change in your life as a result of this conjunction. Your ruling planet Uranus is opposing the moon in Scorpio. This opposition with the conjunction of Mars could bring a lot of emotional anxiety and perhaps some angst or aggressive feelings and emotions. It could have your home area become quite unpredictable and chaotic. Fortunately, your other ruling planet Saturn is transiting retrograde in the sign of Pisces and is aspecting this conjunction in a positive sextile aspect. So there are opportunities for you to make things happen in a much easier way for everybody involved in your fourth house, in your home area, or with a parent. And the parent could be the father or the mother, depending on which one was the more nurturing one. Mars rules your third house and your 10th house. In this conjunction, we're going to focus on the rulership of the 10th house. The 10th house is a public house. It rules over how we're seen by society. It rules over the work that we do. It rules our bosses, authority figures, and the government. So whatever events are going to happen at this time are also going to involve your public standing. It's also going to be announced to the world. It's going to be public. Uranus rules your first house, so your ascendant. It rules you. You're so involved in this conjunction. Also because Pluto is currently transiting your ascendant, has been transforming you on a deep psychological, emotional level. It's been changing your soul, who you are and how other people see you, or how you want other people to see you. So this is another angle that's already being activated by a personal transit, and here comes along Venus, who's ruling this conjunction and opposes Pluto, who's transiting your sign. There is some type of intense feelings and intense reactions going on in your fourth house area, because Venus rules Taurus, your fourth house, where all this is going on, and the IC is the most sensitive point in the zodiac. So you're feeling this quite intensely. It's affecting you psychologically and affecting all your family members. This is quite intense, Aquarius. There is a lot transpiring here with all your angles being activated independently. This could be a very challenging transit that will transform your entire being and transform the key areas in your life. Aquarius, if you've not listened to the introduction of this video, I suggest that you go back and listen to the entire introduction, because this is the information there will help you decipher how this is going to affect you personally. And if you'd like further guidance, I suggest that you book a reading with me at rachel-mayo.com. Take advantage of the $80 special reading that I have for this conjunction. It is all about you, Aquarius. It's only $80. It's a limited time offer. Book now. Pisces ascendant, sun or moon. This conjunction is happening in your third house. This is where you should expect something to happen suddenly and quite unexpectedly. Your third house rules over your immediate environment. It rules over your siblings, your neighbors, and your neighborhood. It also rules over the mind and your thought process. This house also rules gadgets that we use every day, like our phones and our computers. Your mind is highly activated at the time of this conjunction. You could be feeling a lot of anxiety, aggressive thoughts, and perhaps even aggressive action, aggressive behaviors. Pisces is a water sign, so this means that you're sextiling this conjunction. This is positive energy that is going to bring you opportunities in order to take positive action in your immediate environment or with your siblings. This conjunction happening in the third house of speech and thought could have you going a little bit crazy. You could literally drive yourself mad and lose your head. Go insane. So I would be very careful and not let this energy take you in that direction. It could be a quite disastrous and dangerous direction. Since the third house rules your neighborhood, your immediate environment, you could have an unexpected change in your immediate environment. Perhaps there is a fight, perhaps you have a confrontation with a sibling or with your neighbor, and you decide that this is it. You decide to move to another neighborhood and have an unexpected new beginning in that way. your ruling planet Jupiter is not aspecting this conjunction because he is transiting in the sign of Gemini. Gemini and Taurus do not aspect each other, they're next to each other. So perhaps the things that are happening at this time are as a result of other people's actions in your immediate environment, things which are erupting with your siblings, and you get involved by proxy because you're related to them. Neptune, your other ruling planet, is aspecting this conjunction with a positive sextile aspect, again bringing possible energy for compromise and healing. Neptune is transiting retrograde in his own sign, in the sign of Pisces, so he has a lot of control in that house, and he has Saturn, who's also transiting retrograde. They're working together to help you solve whatever negative events that are going to erupt in your third house. Mars rules your second house and your ninth house. However, for this discussion, we're going to focus on Mars's rulership of the ninth house. The ninth house rules over our higher belief system. This is a house of our future. This is a transit that could absolutely change your entire life direction, your future. This house rules over our beliefs. I meant the conjunction. This house rules over our belief system. It rules over the justice system, foreign lands, law and order. It rules over professors, gurus, priests, university. This is the area where you're probably feeling a little bit emotional, obsessive, and compulsive. This is where the moon is transiting. Fortunately for you, Pisces, you aspect Scorpio with a trine aspect. So this is a helpful aspect. There is positive energy flowing between these two houses. So perhaps you will stop to think about the consequences of whatever impulsive action or speech that you're about to take. You're going to think, how is this going to impact my future? How is this going to impact my life, my future? So perhaps you're going to refrain from taking radical and impulsive action. Uranus rules your 12th house. Your 12th house is a hidden house. This is a house that rules over far off places like foreign lands, space, or unknown places. It also rules over the dream world because it's a place of rest. This is the house where we can also communicate with other energies. This is where we can communicate with our past, with our ancestors, our past generation. It's also the house that rules over hidden places like hospitals, prisons, asylums. This is a house that rules over our hidden enemies. And sometimes our hidden enemy could be ourselves through self-sabotage, doing drugs, getting involved in illicit affairs, or getting in trouble in foreign lands. This is the story that I'm seeing kind of playing out here. Perhaps you're traveling in a foreign country because of the 12th house activation, Uranus. You took a trip suddenly. 9th house also rules long distance travels, foreign lands. And 3rd house, perhaps you went with your sibling and then you get into a confrontation or a physical altercation with your sibling in a foreign land, and hey, you end up spending some time in jail. Keep in mind your 12th house is activated. Or you drink and drive and you end up spending time in jail or in rehab. There is a legal element involved because of Mars's rulership over the 9th house of over the justice system. This conjunction can go either way for you, Pisces, and it all depends on what else is going on in your natal birth chart. If you've not listened to the introduction of this video, I suggest that you go and listen to the entire introduction, because the information in the introduction will help you evaluate how this is going to affect you personally. If you'd like further guidance, take advantage of the $80 special reading. It is a limited time offer, so book now.